Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Aloha Press Show. My name is JC. I'm beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Joined today by my co-host Jeff out in sunny, windy California. What's going on, buddy?
Well, today I played the first round of golf since I've been home from Mexico, and we thought we'd bring all these things home from Mexico, right? COVID, diseases, injuries, and all that. All we brought was the fucking wind. Can you see? It was like a hurricane out there at Castle Oaks today.
It looks rather breezy out there. I know what we did bring home. We brought home everyone. I know it was in question last week that we were unsure if everyone had made it home, and I rest assured everyone has made it home. We've confirmed. We've touched bases. Some of the injuries that we thought had occurred were even worse, which was absolutely fucking crazy that we even made it back. But safe and sound, everyone is safely in the United States.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Sutter Amateur Hospital for coming through and actually diagnosing an injury properly. We thought it might have just been a sprain, maybe a pretty bad sprain. It turned out to be a broken fibula. So, I mean, that's no joke. Guys are just savages at the Aloha Press.
It's if you want to hang with us, you better have some strong some strong medication or enjoy a good beverage, because if you're going to join us out at the home game in beautiful Ione, California at Castle Oaks Golf Club, where the Aloha Press started, you're going to have to sign up sooner than later, okay? We're running out of spots. You got to sign up by, I think, next week. The event's going to be June 11th at 1 p.m. Stableford event, which we're looking forward to. Jeff, let's dive in. What's up?
Not Stableford. We just played Stableford.
Oh, shit. It's not Stableford. It's four ball. Sorry. Best ball, four ball. Grab your partner. Okay. Another rumor that hit the streets of mean Sutter Creek was someone thought that when we made the flyers, it said 2-man/2-woman best ball, four ball, event. That doesn't mean you got to get 2 boys and 2 ladies, okay? It means just grab a partner. We were trying to be politically correct and absolutely confuse some of our not very intelligent audience, which I was informed were rather intelligent, which is a bit frustrating. So grab yourself a partner, okay? Just bring them to beautiful Ione, California, and have a good time at the home game. Jeff, let's dive into the beautiful Wells Fargo Championship. I mean, this is one of those events that you look at and go, is the PGA Championship here yet? I mean, it's in North Carolina. You've got all these other things going on, all these distractions going on, like recovering from alcohol poisoning. You got your feet up. You're sitting there on a beautiful Sunday, pissing every mother off in the world, and you got the Wells Fargo Championship out at Quail Hollow, and you got Rory McIlroy in the final group, which was the only reason why I tuned in.
Well, I'm channeling my inner Keith Mitchell here by wearing the visor today out on the golf course. I don't wear it very often, but I watched a lot of golf this week. I watched, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and yes, Rory made it interesting. He brought viewership, but the golf course itself played really tough. It was super windy, which I love. I love seeing guys struggle, and I love seeing guys up around, even par, over par. I think even when it finished, Rory won at 10 under. But there were not a lot of guys under par come the final on Sunday.
Yeah, it was an absolute struggle song when you came to the golf course. I mean, they're putting fucking creeks in the middle of the fucking golf course. Like hole 18 literally has a creek in the middle of the fucking ravine which they're trying to hit into, which is just mind-numbing. Which is absolutely, as a PGA Tour player, I can only imagine what drives people crazy is you put objects that literally have no advantage to them right in the way, which I thought the golf course played rather tough. I thought there were a couple interesting holes out there. Specifically, I thought hole 17 was probably the most compelling hole out on the golf course, just because the way the wind picked up and it was a longer shot, you had to hit a draw into it, and it just seemed like the only guy that pulled it off, coming down the stretch was Rory McIlroy. I mean, Keith Mitchell, the guy needs a second place finish to get into the PGA Championship and kick, Ricky Fowler out of there. And sure enough, he pushes about 40 yards right and fails to get up and down.
Well, here's the thing. All the talk, you talk about the ravine and that stuff and the wind. And Rory went back to the fade this week. Not saying he hit a lot of fairways, because he didn't. I think he still only hit about 12 out of 60. But his misses were so much better than when he hits those pull hooks. That's what saved him. I mean, and he putted really well. But the one thing I'll go, and I know we're going to probably talk about it later, is the fans were the difference this week for Rory McIlroy.
Oh, 100%. Let's not leave that to the end. Okay. Let's get to the actual fit. I tune in. Okay. After spending a beautiful week in Cancun where masks were literally looked like they were being enforced by guns. Okay. Then you go to North Carolina and you've got just fucking run of the mill. There's the PGA Tour is full of shit. I've decided. Okay. I don't know what kind of fucking banter bullshit that they're fucking pumping down our throats, but the food and beverage, like, it looked like everyone had a cocktail in their hand because there was no mask wearing at all. Like, hundreds and thousands of people. I saw maybe 2 masks and they were like of Dottie Pepper and the camera guy. Even to a point where Rory McIlroy wins. His wife and daughter are standing next to the railing with 1,000 people and everyone's taking selfies with them. Like, it's crazy.
There were no masks, and it was awesome to see. It was awesome to see people partying and getting loud again and having the hecklers going. A lot of them, obviously, it was a pro Rory crowd. I feel bad for Keith Mitchell because he really had no chance. I mean, even when he started out with the birdie and pushed the lead to 3, you just knew Rory was playing too good and too consistent that Keith didn't have a chance. And Rory, that's all he talked about for a year and a half during COVID is how he missed the fans. He played terrible because of them. He didn't get excited. And then he had this event where they were there in big numbers, bigger numbers than we've seen since we've come back. And he fed off of it. And, to go 68 on the weekend was really impressive.
It was incredible. It felt like golf was back. It felt like we were back, like, to fucking normalness. It's Keith Mitchell. If I would have told you Keith Mitchell would be in the final group with Rory McIlroy with 0 fans, I think Keith Mitchell wins. I don't think he makes the big mistakes because you could tell, like, on his face, he 3-putted a par 5. He was unable to get up and down many times. You could tell that the nerves were there, and you could tell guys actually chirping him on the fucking tee box.
Dude, and he didn't just 3-putt a par 5, but he 3-putted a par 5. I mean, I've 3-putted a lot of par 5s.
It looked like he chunked the putt.
That when you're almost out again, when your guy had to lay up and Rory, had to hit wedge in for his 3rd. That was bad. And he 3-putted 2 holes in a row there, and you just knew it's like, okay, the wheels are coming off. This guy, he just doesn't have it today. And he played solid in the first 3 rounds. He just didn't have it. And Rory was on cruise control, until his ball almost went in the creek you're talking about on 18. But he found a way to get it done with a bogey.
Coming down the stretch, you love to look at a guy like Keith Mitchell and recognize that he's got so much on the line and so much, potential at 29 years old, Chattanooga kind of guy, comes from a freaking, silver spoon family who, really prepped him for this moment. And he absolutely freaking, takes a shit on himself. And it wasn't like, it wasn't like necessarily like bad. It just, God, he's got an opportunity to play at a major championship. And all you got to do is come in second to Rory McIlroy. Just ride the coattails. Whatever he does, you do it. And instead he turns it into +1. And what drove me absolutely crazy, like, there's 2 things that I was rooting for on Sunday. One was for someone to pants Keith Mitchell because his pants are the worst pants I've ever seen in my life. It was like the 1997 version of like those big like pleated pants, but they were about a foot short. Okay, because he kept yanking them up higher and higher and higher every time he was about to drive the ball. They were talking, oh, he's just as long as Rory. I go, can someone get him a proper pair of pants? Either tie the things up at the bottom and make them joggers, or loosen the belt, pull the damn things off your belly button, and let the pants wear normal, It's okay to have them on the top of your shoes. Absolutely drove me fucking crazy.
It's funny because we don't prep very much before the show, and I'm thinking the same thing as you. I'm thinking he's wearing high waters. First off, he didn't need to loosen his belt. He needed to tighten it because his shirt was hanging out half the time after like 2 holes in. He's wearing the visor. He is like the epitome of country club kid, money, rich, grew up dressing however he wanted with all these fancy clothes. But yeah, somebody's got to dress it. If you're going to be in the final group on Sunday, especially playing with Rory, all eyes are on you, bro. Like, I don't even know if he had socks on half the time. He had his pants up, so all you saw was ankles.
It was just brutal. Like, I'm watching this guy in the final group, and they kept showing him, and I'm like, would someone tell the CBS broadcast to cut him from the coverage? Okay, because I'm tired of looking at him. I'm absolutely tired. His visor, I'll give it to you. I like the visor. I like the unbuttoned shirt. Okay, I love the loose fit. I love it. My God, those stupid you keep pulling them up too. It just was not, and it was a bad look for golf. As a guy, Rory McIlroy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, fan favorite. He made the event. This event, I mean, to be quite honest, you started out on Thursday, and you've got an absolute, king in Phil Mickelson going out there and shooting a 7 under, putting himself at the top of the leaderboard, and then finishes at +7. Jeff, I mean, we can congratulate Rory McIlroy as much as you want, but Phil Mickelson. I mean, if anyone took a giant dump on himself, it was Phil. It drove me crazy.
I think, I mean, Phil, what do you go like 64, 76, 77, 70? Like, what happened? Because I watched his round Thursday. I got to see a lot of his shots, and he was on fire. I go, he's going to win this week. That's the type of Phil, when he hits the ball like that, where he's shaping it right to left, left to right, driving it well. I'm like, he's going to win this week. And then just, shooting 11 strokes worse the second day. I mean, obviously he's shot good enough to make the cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, it fell apart, man. There was like visions. I'm like, oh, he's going to get it done. We were talking about it on the show. He's going to win, and he's going to get himself into the U.S. Open the right way.
Yep. After our show broke, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then, you tune in Sunday, you're like, where's Phil? He's like, he left 4 hours ago because he came in last. I don't even know if he technically came in last, but he deserved to be in last place. Because you know what he did? It was like he was a dirty stripper at a $2 table, okay? Get y'all riled up and they kick you out the door. Like, what are we doing, Phil? Okay? You make me tune in on a Friday. You better play some halfway decent golf. Okay? I made arrangements. Okay? Family, work-life balance, and sure enough, you're screwing it up. It just absolutely drove me crazy. But Rory McIlroy gets it done, which was pretty incredible. I mean, first victory since 2019. I mean, fans are back, especially in North Carolina. It felt good to have Roy back just for the sake of golf. I mean, he for whatever reason, brings the energy. I mean, does he bring it like Jordan Spieth or Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson? Probably not, but he is good for the game of golf. Like, I was rooting for him to do really well, and you got to see him celebrate, especially on the hole 18 when he's tossing hard objects into the crowd. I've never seen, like, who's throwing fastballs in the fucking crowd with a golf ball? Like, Jeff, I need you to analyze this, the throwing motion. One, if I would have thrown a golf ball that far, not warming up my arm, I'd have blown it out. Okay, I wouldn't have been able to play golf for the next 3 weeks because I wouldn't be able to move my shoulder. What was your take on the throw into the crowd?
Yeah, hey, he was excited. I mean, he was almost crying. And it's weird for a guy that's won as much as him, who's won as young as him, with his 4 majors. And in the fact, he's not top 10 in the world anymore. He will be after this, probably. He's had a little downturn. So it's weird to see him get that emotional over a regular win. He's won there 2 times before. But yeah, hey, I'm all for it. Fire that sumbitch in there, right? That's going to make, the thing is this, it's not only going to make somebody really happy that they catch it, that might make him money someday. I saw that Tom Brady, the first football he ever threw a touchdown with, whoever caught the pass threw it into the stands, right? When Tom was a younger guy. That ball's up for auction right now. It's going to go for millions and millions of dollars. So maybe Rory's golf ball will go for a little bit, not anywhere near Tom Brady money, but it's worth it. Fire it. Yeah, but I'm like you. It's like throwing wiffle balls. Like, my shoulder, my elbow, gone. Done.
And good for Rory. I mean, he involved the crowd, which was pretty cool and unique, and it's something that we enjoy looking back. But did the rest of the golfing world like just shake their head? They're like, we got a fan. We have fans at this event with no mask on, partying, screaming, yelling. Well, then we're going to travel to California here in a couple months, and you're going to have any fans. There's absolutely two worlds when it comes to golf here in the United States at the PGA Tour.
No, it's going to be crickets when they come to California, and it's going to suck. It really is, and it's going to be different for those guys like Rory. That they finally get back to this, to where they're hearing cheering and they see the crowds running with them. And then we're going to go back to California golf, which, hey, I brought Mexico home with me today. I was pulling the flag stick. Guys are like, what's going on? Like, I've been putting with that flag stick in I don't care. I come from Mexico. I just play with my boy from Georgia. They don't believe in this shit.
No.
But California still does.
It's crazy. Hopefully everything will be buttoned up when it comes to the home game here in June 11th. But Jeff, wrapping up the Wells Fargo, thought it was a good preview of what's to come here in a couple weeks. Hopefully, we have a few bigger names. A couple guys in the field that I thought played really well. Abraham Answer, he's playing really good golf these last couple weeks. And also Gary Woodland, kind of back in the mix. I mean, he looked halfway decent. And then you've got Bryson DeChambeau at minus 4, kind of rounding up the top 10. I mean, you look at the top 10, you go, okay, like guys are playing particularly well, even if they thought they're going to miss the cut come Friday.
Well, Bryson's the name that stands out for me, right? Because the guy legitimately hopped on the jet, flew home, got off, got a workout in, drank some protein shakes, went out to dinner, went to bed, and then had to hop back on the jet at 2:30 in the morning because he realized he went from like 100th to 62nd and made the cut. And that's pretty impressive. That's only something that in today's world with these private jets, these guys can make that shit happen.
How much money do you think it cost him? I mean, he had to go out there and shoot a top. I mean, he now is the number one in the FedEx Cup, right? Which is who gives a shit. But how much money do you think that error cost him? Any idea?
Oh God, $50,000-$100,000, maybe somewhere around there. I don't know what it costs to just bring in different flight crews, and because he said that the one crew had too many hours. So I mean, they're obviously pulling some strings for him. But let me touch on one other thing before we get off the Wells Fargo. Me and you always talk about coverage, right? The CBS coverage with Jim and Nick Faldo, Dottie Pepper. Dottie complaining about not being invited to dinner. I don't know if you've heard this story. Nick and Jim had a bet on Saturday about would anybody birdie 18, right? And whatever it was, Jim Nantz won the bet. Nick Faldo won the bet. Jim Nantz had to buy dinner. And all Dottie did was get on the air and complain about not being invited. And I want to reach you and like strangle her, bet, get in on the bet. Like that's like me and you playing golf with somebody and somebody complaining that they didn't get to go party with us. Well, you didn't play and bet with us. So you don't get invited to the after party. I'm sorry.
Jeff, I'm not going to lie. Like the television coverage in the last 3 to 6 months has really gone down. Like Dottie Pepper, I swear there's reasons why they don't let me be a media member at the golf club, because I would have strangled her. I would have tackled her in the middle of the fairway. What she's pumping out there as content, which she gets paid a lot of money for, is absolutely the most boring shit. Someone complaining about fucking not going to dinner, because I heard it. I heard it on Sunday. I text you. I go, this is the worst fucking broadcast I've ever heard in my life. Because she's bitching about not going to be able to go to dinner. Nick Faldo is talking about some lobster dinner that you and I probably can't afford. And then you got Jim Nantz speaking like he's at a funeral. Jim, I need some freaking gusto when it comes to the freaking excitement level out at North Carolina. Someone's got to do something. Someone has to change the fucking way they present golf. Because right now, it is. Dottie Pepper was talking in the middle of Rory McIlroy and his caddy's fucking discussion about him hitting a 106-yard shot. That is way more interesting than what Dottie Pepper didn't get invited to dinner. Okay? And Dottie Pepper, order yourself a stupid pizza, okay? And I was gonna wish horrible things on Dottie Pepper. Nothing against Dottie. I just am not a fan. She's just so horrible. God, go somewhere that gives a shit about you and Nick Faldo's weird sexual relationship, because the tension is getting awkward for everyone, and it's not pretty. It's like two old folks at the senior center, okay? Smuggling a bowl of condoms, okay? It's just gross, okay? Get a room, get it off the air. Sick and tired of it.
Well, on the other note too, when you talk about the broadcast itself, let's get away from the announcers. Let's kind of go back behind the scenes, the guys that put up the graphics, right? I shouldn't be watching golf and they put up a graphic of Keith Mitchell and Rory McIlroy, final group, their stats, their career wins and stuff. Rory, great picture, right? Nike fit, looks good. Yeah. And then Keith Mitchell, it looks like he just got beat in the face with a wet towel and fucking looking crooked. And they put that picture, like, how out of every picture that the PGA Tour has, CBS has, how is that the one they put up? I was embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed for Keith Mitchell. It's your fucking one time to shine, and this is what they do to you.
You're sitting next to a guy. You're playing next to a guy who literally has $250 million in the bank. Keith Mitchell is just playing his lights out, and his family's, I'm assuming, watching on television, and they see this picture. Yes, he might have been beaten with a wet towel, but like it looked like some like kid that was strapped into a chair, and you're at your school picture day. Okay, it looked like his mom did his hair. It was absolutely horrible. It was like, who's doing this? Like who? This is, and Jeff's sending me pictures of this guy, and I feel bad. I absolutely felt bad. This is, yeah, like you said, one opportunity to shine, and God, it's not good. I mean, use his Tinder profile, right? Like, swipe left, okay? Get his picture up there, okay? In front of I'm assuming a minivan or whatever he drives. It just, I don't know, kind of just drive. It's crazy what CBS is doing and what they're able to get away with. It was horrible.
Well, and every once in a while, it's like when they show a profile on Phil, and they'll use a picture from like 06, and you're like, he's not even wearing the same shirt with the same sponsors. What are you guys doing? It's Fat Phil. Bring back Fat Phil.
That's the whole goal. Our whole goal is to bring Fat Phil back and put him on the telecast. It's pretty remarkable. I'm wrapping up the Wells Fargo. Is there anything else that you want to touch on? Before we move on to some of the other golf news?
No, I would just say this. It was nice to watch tough golf. The guys that played well, obviously, got it under par and stayed up towards the top of the leaderboard. The guys that didn't play terrible. Shout out to Max Homa. I picked you one time. You're the defending champ. You got top 40 in the world, and you don't even come close to making the cut for me. JT shot even par, get you the W. You got a bottle back from me. Better luck to me this time. I'm going to pick first.
That's very true. So stay tuned for a little later in the episode where we're going to be making our predictions. The beautiful Byron Nelson. I have no idea where it's at because, to be honest with you, like the care level is rather low. But Jeff, moving on. I mean, another event that happened this week was the Walker Cup. And before we hit record, Jeff and I had a small discussion about the Walker Cup because he and I did not know what it was. Okay, which is kind of sad for the game of golf. It's apparently a college event similar to the Ryder Cup. U.S. versus London, England, European continent, maybe. Jeff, I mean, this is apparently a big deal. They played at Seminole, one of those famous golf courses out in, I think it's Florida, and the United States got it done. But does anyone really give a shit about the fucking Walker Cup?
Absolutely not. Unless it's your kid playing, maybe the family and friends. But I can tell you this much: if it's such a big deal, they needed to do a better job presenting it to us, promoting it, something like that. I mean, you sent me a picture today, and I looked at it. I go, "What is this? A Christmas card?" They're in red and green, like around a trophy. I didn't know anybody that was in the picture. I had no clue what was going on. Hey, if it's that big of a deal, make it a priority to promote it.
Well, Jeff, I sent you that picture. Not only to confuse you, who these small petite boys are, but they all have the same haircut, and we'll show it on the YouTube show. But good God, it's like they all went to the same barber. Apparently, they also had a bad case of food poisoning too, which sent a few of them to the hospital, which I thought was funny.
Well, it reminded me of you remember back in the day that show Hoover High, like that football team out of Alabama or whatever. They all had that same comb over. That's what it reminded me of. Like Absolutely. They played for Hoover High. They're all from Bama.
It just was. You look at the event, and apparently it has a lot of history, and it's controlled by the USGA, and it's all these great things. And I was listening to another golf podcast, and they were so excited about it. They had so much energy about being able to see the future guys in the world. And then I thought back, and I'm like, if you were that big of a deal, like you wouldn't even be playing in this event. You'd be playing in North Carolina. Like, I know that's probably a shot, but it's like college golfers are not like anything special. Like if you're that great at college golf, like just check out, pull the Kevin Na, okay, go pro at age 17 and go get it done on the PGA Tour where we can actually maybe know your name. And I mean, you got to play with like Rory McIlroy or like Phil to, kind of get yourself familiar with the PGA Tour. But in my eyes, I could care less about the beautiful Walker Cup.
Yeah, hey, I missed it. I missed all of it. I missed Did the LPGA play this week too? Because I missed them too. I don't even know if they played.
The LPGA did play. They played in Thailand. I believe. I mean, you're kind of putting me in here on the spot here to get you the winner. Because to be quite honest with you, Jeff, like I've made a few new rules when it comes to the The Golf Female Newsletter. We used to promote that we like to talk about other, like also other avenues of golf, like college golf, lady golf. To be quite honest, no one cares. No one clicks on the links. Like, and someone's gonna get offended listening to this, but to be quite honest with you, like, I hate to say it, but no one cares. It's sad. It's really sad. Like, if more people read the articles that I wrote, like, I'd probably keep it in there. But everyone just wants the PGA Tour. Kinda.
Oh yeah, kinda. I think in a few weeks here, when we get back to major championship golf, I think it'll kind of blow up. Excitement will be a little bit bigger. We're just in a little lull right now.
But it's a lull for a reason. I mean, I'm again still trying to pull up the LPGA Honda, LPGA Thailand, Watanagarna, and I can't say her name. She's from Thailand. She won 22 under. Really great golfer. Congratulations to her. But moving on from the LPGA Tour event, I mean, other news broke last week, which we kind of partaked in. We thought the Premier Golf League was back in the news, and they were talking about going around Florida and really promoting their golf league that we thought pretty much died. And the reason why the news got brought up was because Jay Monahan was at the mandatory meeting in North Carolina at the Quail Hollow at the Wells Fargo Championship, and he expressed to the PGA Tour players that if anyone signs with the Premier Golf League and also this new league that just popped up, the Saudi Arabia League, which is now called the I think it's the Super Golf League, that they would be pretty much suspended and banned from the PGA Tour. Jeff, I mean, hearing this news that there's now not only a second league that is popping up out of the Middle East, but also your takes on Jay Monahan kind of threatening these guys that if they go somewhere else, that they're going to be banned.
I like that. I like that a lot because the PGA Tour is where it's at. The major championships are where it's at. I don't think you should be able to go money grab and hurt the PGA Tour and then come back and play in the majors. I agree with that. What I think is going to happen is this. I don't think you're going to see any of the big names jump to these leagues because they want to play major championships. They want to win major championships. I think you might see guys later in their career when they've kind of their prime is past that might be a bigger name. A guy like Phil Mickelson in a year or two that may take the money and run and go play over there a little bit when he knows his time's done on the PGA Tour. That's what I think you're going to see. Or you're going to see a guy like Ricky Fowler, who's just playing terrible and trash and done and wants to, boost his Instagram a little bit more and be the first one to sign and take $100 million and go do it. You might see that. I don't buy into any of these extra super leagues.
I want to say that, like, if it wasn't Middle Eastern money, like if it wasn't blood money where they're actually like chopping people's legs off for wearing shorts or giving people lashings because they're playing too much, too loud of music or they're barbecuing outside, I would be somewhat of a fan of it because I look at the PGA Tour week in and week out. It's the same shit. Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's like, yeah, we might have had a 2-man event a couple weeks ago, but other than that, like, we get the same product over and over and over for like 50 weeks out of the year. And I would love to see a super season. I would love to see 16, 18 events, kind of like the NFL, where we get a chance to get prepped, pumped up for the PGA Tour season, and then you trickle in the majors, and it's a real season. Unlike these wraparound seasons that's just a giant advertisement for things that we don't even want to mention. What scares me the most about these leagues is they're going to get someone. I think they're going to get someone. I don't know if it's the Saudi Arabia League or if it's the Premier League or whatever it is. I think they're going to grab someone, and I think you're probably right. It's probably going to be a guy like Ricky Fowler. I think it's going to be, someone in the top 100 to 200 in the world that maybe isn't playing the greatest golf, where they can snag $30 to $40 million. Because $30-40 million, I mean, that's a game changer. I mean, that's lifetime money. That's money that you no longer have to worry about your future, as long as you don't invest it in silver or maybe Dogecoin or something. But it Jeff, I mean, if Ricky Fowler got $100 million, he's got to take it, right? I mean, he's almost out of the top 125. He might not have a job here in a couple years on the PGA Tour if he keeps going this way. He might as well ride it out and maybe snag up one of these Premier Leagues.
Well, he's got to 100%, and that's what it's built for. But I don't think you're ever going to see the really good players and the top guys in the game leave to something like this until they're allowed to come back and play in the majors. If they'd said that, I think you'd see everybody jump at it. And you're right, we'd have 15, 16 weeks of unbelievable tournaments and then major championship golf. But as long as the PGA Tour controls it and they say, nah, you're suspended, you're banned, and you can't come play in our majors. I mean, these guys aren't going to give up a shot at the Masters. They're not going to give up a shot at the U.S. Open. That's where they play the game.
Well,
they don't play it to win the Wells Fargo every week. I'm telling you that.
And they don't. But I think even if these guys leave, I still think they're going to be able to get to play in the majors. They might not be able to play maybe in the PGA Championship, but PGA Tour has no control over the U.S. Open. They have no control over the Masters. They have no control over the Open Championship. I mean, if I'm Ricky Fowler, do I want to take blood money? Absolutely not. That would hurt my fucking brand. I can promise you that. Like, that would not be good for the game of golf in the sense of me personally, but I think there's got to be a group of guys out there that are willing to roll the dice, say fuck it, like, see ya. If I get to play in the majors and you're going to pay me $100 million and you're going to somehow whittle it away where it's not, coming from a country that literally just allowed women to drive, I'm probably taking the cash and giving them PGA Tour a middle finger.
Well, the real question is, like, how many guys do they have to have committed before this thing actually starts? Because, how long is it going to take? Are we talking years still before we're going to see this? Or, do they have a bunch on the back burner that are under the radar that they've already wheeled and dealed with to where they just need some big names and then all of a sudden, bam.
Well, they're planning on doing it September 2022. So it's around the corner. I mean, it's not like it's 5 years from now. It looks like both these leagues are trying to get off the ground. I will say this, like, as a kid growing up, like, we watched a couple things. We watched the NFL, college football, right? And then all of a sudden this thing came out. It was called the XFL. And the XFL was, I hate to say it, pretty entertaining. They added some intriguing things about the actual league. They added maybe a couple different weird rules. They had a different football. They had fucking camera guys on the field with shoulder pads on where they'd get fucking taken out. I mean, they had cameras fucking flying around the stadium. And then you look at the NFL like 10 years after that and you realize, oh shit, they just implemented all the things the XFL did with all these kind of half-ass shitty players. I hate to say it, but if you had a hold of, I don't know, 40, 60 guys and you implemented some things that were unique and special and different to the game of golf, I mean, let's not play like a stupid golf course. Let's not play anything stupid where you got like a 12-inch hole or you're playing in a 5-gallon bucket or anything, or you got to play 2 of the holes with your feet, or one of the holes you only get to use a 7-iron. I mean, let's still play the game of golf, but I think it has some ability to innovate the game to make the product better, because right now the product being presented is Dottie Pepper, Nick Faldo, and Jim Nantz literally talking me into a fucking coma. When you have one of the biggest stars on stage winning an event.
Well, you're right. They definitely could take some really good things from it. And there's ways to improve the game of golf. There's ways to improve the broadcast. There's ways to make it more exciting. I just don't know. I mean, if you don't get the biggest names, though, how do you do it? How do you get people to tune in if you don't get the biggest names?
Because hell, I mean, you're right. Like, they have a hard enough time fucking tuning in now. Like, no one's going to watch next week's event. No one is. No, I hate to say it. Like, you and I are going to watch a couple days of it. I mean, hopefully we get some, a good, mix of players. But Dustin Johnson's out. I mean, with a little knee injury, preparing for the PGA Championship. It's just, who's going to watch it? Which is kind of scary. I mean, they had one of the biggest events in apparently golf history, the Walker Cup, and you and I had nothing to know about it. So unless they're going to hit us with some giant marketing plan that intrigues us with maybe some of our earlier suggestions in our podcast days of flag girls and flag boys. But let's get to the AT&T Byron Nelson. This is an event out in Texas at the TPC. I don't know where. It's somewhere in Texas. That's all I know. I want to say TPC Craig Ranch. Nope, that's not it. I have no clue. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere in Texas. I know. Oh, I don't know. It's the venue's PGA Tour debut. Apparently, so yeah, it's at the TPC Craig Ranch, and apparently Sun Kang's a member there. But and it's in McKinney, Texas. Good for Texas. Jeff, I mean, going in this week, preparation for the PGA Championship. I mean, this is things that I don't want to say is it's just not very exciting. But I mean, you've got the number one golfer in the world, Dustin Johnson, has withdrawn from for a knee injury. Seems like a good event for maybe Phil to win, Rory or Ricky Fowler, maybe one of those types. But we're gonna give it to you. I mean, who do you got? Who you going with the beautiful Byron Nelson?
Well, I want to know how DJ hurt his knee, because all I saw this week on Instagram was, him doing backflips off the boat into the ocean, just pretty much partying, drinking, hanging out. And if you spend any time with us in Mexico last year, that's how you get hurt. You don't get hurt in the gym. You don't get hurt, taking a jog. You don't get hurt hitting balls. You get hurt with the extracurriculars, the things that you shouldn't be doing. So if I had to guess, I'm thinking he slipped on the deck somewhere. He took a tumble. Maybe that's how he hurt his knee. Maybe he hit he jumped where it's too shallow. Sometimes we do that when we jump in and you hurt yourself. So I'm not buying the WD, for any other reason than something like that. I'm going to pick a guy who I think I've told you at some point in my podcast career with you that I would never pick again. Had a resurgence here in the last few months.
Yeah, he's 10-1.
Right. It's just windy. It's Texas, hometown boy. They've been just promoting the shit out of him on commercials this week. I'm going with Jordan Spieth, Mr. Under Armour. I got the Under Armour fucking boy. I'm going with Spieth. AT&T, that's his number one sponsor. This is his tournament.
This is it. I mean, Texas boy, I get it. I mean, great pick. And don't get me wrong, there are several guys who have the opportunity to go out there and win this event. I mean, yes, Jordan Spieth, great pick. I mean, again, 10-1 to win this event. You got Bryson DeChambeau doing his thing at 7-1. Jon Rahm at 17-1, I think. And even Brooks Koepka is going to be in the mix this week, which is going to be interesting. But as good as you think Jordan Spieth is going to play in the beautiful state of Texas, I'm going with a guy who's already kind of faltered, who's already a bit angry, who is already did some things that, kind of awkward. I'm going with Scottie Scheffler this week. I think he's going to play absolutely crazy good golf. Played really good the last time they were in Texas out at the match play. Unfortunately lost to, the hyper-compulsive Billy Horschel. He's sitting at, what is he sitting at? Sitting at 21-1. So, feeling pretty good. Scottie Scheffler. That's what I'm going with.
Is he a Texas boy too?
I think so.
Yeah,
Oklahoma, maybe Texas. I can't remember.
Somewhere around there. Hey, all I know is I'm trying to keep my bottle lead up. I got the big W. I'm still riding high off of Cancun. I'm still waiting for that bottle to come through. I don't know what it's going to be.
It's going to be
something
there.
Something big. We'll get ready for the only sad thing is I was talking to some guys out of the golf course today, and they wanted to know who I was playing with at the home game, and I forgot. Me and you are a team. We're so used to playing against each other and having bets and crazy stupid bets and bottle bets and worm bets and cash bets. We're playing as a fucking team, so we're gonna have to find some side bets with other people, because I'm gonna be rooting for you instead of against you.
I agree, man. I'm already getting hit up about course setup. Okay, we've been given the thumbs up. We can pick the pins. We're setting pins, and we're also setting tees. So they're like, hey, JC, you got any insight? A little like, what are we playing at? Whites, blues, yellows? What are we doing? I go, listen, hey, the next time you go play Castle Oaks Golf Course, okay, I want you to go ahead and just roll the dice. Literally roll the dice, because that's where you're going to be playing. Because we have no clue. And we might have a little advantage come to the home game, which is going to be fun. So, looking forward to that. Go sign up for the home game at thealohapress.com/home game. If you want to sponsor the event, help us raise some money for some of the charities out there that we like to support. You can also do that. The alohapress.com/home game, and you'll be able to find that in the partner section. So, with that being said, Jeff, we've got our picks in. moving on later this week. Hopefully, maybe we'll do Instagram Live, something to help promote the home game. But with that being said, buddy, you got anything else before we wrap this thing up?
I got one closing thought. As I was leaving the golf course today, I saw some of the youngsters out there, the Amador, the Argonaut High School kids. I walked by them, gave them some high fives, let them know, hey, the Aloha Press donated to them. A lot of people said thank you. They want to say thank you to you. From all the proceeds we took from the Aloha Press Classic in Tahoe last year, we turned around and gave that back to the high school golf teams. So come out, support our tournaments, because that's where the money goes. And we obviously don't get rich off of it. So come out and support us, help the kids, give back. And they're always looking for new golf bags, hats, shirts, towels, whatever it may be. Unfortunately, they don't play in our tournaments because they're a little bit R-rated, maybe X-rated at times.
Yes.
But we're always giving back. And they told me to tell you thank you. So keep it up.
Hey, that's awesome. That's the whole point of the golf tournaments, is literally to be able to have a great time out at a beautiful golf course, somewhere that we grew up playing, and where the Aloha Press was born, but also to be able to give back to the community. And that's the reason why we do it. One, I'm coming to California, might as well get everyone together, have a party, drink too much, play some golf, raise some money, and get after it. So with that being said, guys, really appreciate it. Jeff, we'll talk to you next week. And as always, hit bombs, attack pins, and Aloha Press. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.